Namaste to all. Welcome to the 29th episode of Ayurveda Gurukula. So today we have Dr. Channabasavana Patil sir with us. I would like to extend a cordial welcome on behalf of all of us, Easy Ayurveda family, to Dr. Channabasavana Patil. And likewise, a hearty welcome to all our participants of Easy Ayurveda family to this particular session. Namaste, Patil sir.
Thank you, sir.
So here is a brief introduction of Dr. Channabasavana Patil sir. He's a very good physician and teacher. Holds his degree, BMS degree from TME's Ayurveda Medical College, Shivamogga in Karnataka. MD degree from MIMS and Hospital Manipal, Karnataka, Munial Ayurvedic College. Has also the diploma in pharmacy and MBA in hospital management. Sir has special training in basic life support, intensive clinical electrocardiography, panchakarma procedures, minor operation procedures as well, and also has a special training in scientific writing and article publications. Has organized many seminars, health checkup camps, and yoga camps throughout his career, and has been doing so very successfully. Has a very extended and very good professional experience as well. Worked as a teacher at many institutions, including PME, Ayurveda Medical College at Shivamogga, Munial Institute of Ayurveda Medical Sciences and Sciences Manipal, Shiva Ayurveda Medical College, Bilaspur, and Shri Siddhi Vinayaka Rural Ayurvedic Medical College in Belgavi. So, sir also has good administrative experience and also a vast clinical experience and clinical knowledge. Sir has published many papers and articles, among which the important ones are on Tamakashwasa and phytochemical analysis of useful parts of barbaris, so that is Osimum bacillum. So currently, Dr. Channabasavana Patil sir is working as Associate Professor in the Department of Dravyaguna, Parul Institute of Ayurveda, Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Today, sir will be presenting on a very important topic, endangered medicinal plants and their conservation. So with this small intro, without taking much time, I hand over the stage to Dr. Channabasavana Patil sir for his presentation. Sir, over to you.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to present on this session. Thank you. So as we know, so today's topic is endangered medicinal plants and conservation techniques. So I will be telling about the endangered medicinal plants. So everybody will be knowing what endangered medicinal plant is. So the plants which are being used extensively without thinking about its conservation techniques. So conservation, even conservation methods, or if it is needed and all, without thinking that we are procuring the medicines, plants, leading to the endangering, means they are not found in the environment. So we'll be discussing on it. So brief introduction. More than 99% of all species, amounting to over 5 billion species that are lived on the earth, are extinct, estimated to be extinct by now. So estimation of the number of earth's current species range from 10 million to 14 million, of which about 1.2 million have been documented. Over 86% have not yet been described. IUCN, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, is taking care of, is supervising this conservation of endangered medicinal plants, even the animals also. We'll see the causes one by one. So genetic and demographic phenomenon: genetic pollution, habitat degeneration, predation, competition, disease, coextinction, climate change, mass extinction. So genetic and demographic phenomenon includes the plant species will not be suitable for the change in environment. So it will be destroyed or being vanished from the forest or the earth. So genetic pollution, so genetic mutations are being taken place to the change in environment and change of place. So because of this pollution, so habitat degradation. So once one good plant is being identified and everybody want it to be at their own place, so they will be taking that plant from the natural habitat and try to keep it wherever they like. So means many of the times, so if we go in the forest, so if we find some good things, so we'll try to collect it and keep it with us. So in that same way, if we change the habitat, the plant will not survive. So that could be a possible reason for its predation, competition, and disease. So in the nature, one will be one plant or the species, one life is being supported with the other life, or the predominant will be dominating or will be ruling the area. So like that, so some plants will be destroyed by the other plants. Even some diseases, mainly this fungus and algae, will be the most common diseases for the plants, which may destroy the whole plant species itself. Then co-extensions. So co-extension means, so if we are cutting if we are plucking a big plant, uprooting a plant, so some small plants, small species will be surrounded by the big plant. So along with that, with the mud, so it will be being separated from the its native area. So if it is being removed from this natural habitat, so definitely it will not survive. So then climate change, as you know, the day by day this temperature is increasing. So because of which the plant survival rate is becoming very less day by day. So because of climate change, the rain is also coming without any specified seasons. So in between it is coming. So it is Rutu Viparita, we can say. So that might be one more cause for this extension of this medicinal plants. Mass extensions. So if we can see this mass extension, very much well-known movie, you can see this Pushpa, and that red sandalwood is being smuggled. So in this, because of its value, right? So these are the some examples for the causes for this extension of this medicinal plants. So IUCN has classified or categorized this medicinal plants which are being endangered into three major categories. That is extinct, which is represented by EX. So that means it's not at all there. So it's already vanished from the earth, or they have vanished from the universe. So threatened, least concern. So we'll see in this. So mainly we have to concentrate on this threatened, that is CR, critically endangered and vulnerable. So these three categories have to be considered, and we have to take care of this three categories. So we'll see one by one. So it is extinct. It is represented as EX. So if you see any medicinal plants in the journals or in the literatures also, so any plant name is being written in the bracket, it is being written as EX. EX means it's already extinct. It is not found. The definition goes like this: no known individuals remains. That is, when the last existing member dies. So some of the examples I could able to collect from the internet, that is Calamites and Cocos. The images are also here. Calamites is medium-sized tree. They used to grow at the height of about 30 meters. So we don't go much about the individual plants. So these plants are being known by this fossils, right? Fossils obtained from different parts of the earth, different regions. Say these are some pictures I could able to get it. Then the next category is extinct in the wild. It is represented by the words EW in the bracket. The extinct in the wild species is one which is only known by living members kept in captivity or as a naturalized population outside its historic range due to massive habitat loss. See, this because of its their population is very less, hence they will be kept in the zoo or some preserved areas where we could able to see them and we can protect them. So some few examples are being mentioned here. So two animals mentioned. So this is Alagos Crusoe. Since 1988, it is being mentioned enlisted in the extinct in the wild group. So it is this photo, you can see it. Then a black soft shell turtle, the image is there, you can see it. So only few species are available on the earth now. Next, so this is trekking. So the one of the most beautiful flower tree, commonly known as the Franklin tree, so was native from the river valley Peoria. It's in USA. The so its special character is its fragrance and its leaves. One more special character is the leaves used to turn red in autumn season. So this is the main identification, and very few plants are found. Critically endangered is being mentioned as CR. So it means extremely high risk of extinction in the wild. Means so next, if we neglect it, so then it will go to second category, that is extinction in the wild. So we have to conserve them. So the very huge criteria is being given to assess this. So we'll look one by one how it is being classified. To be defined the critically endangered in the red list, the species must meet any one of the following criteria, which is mentioned from A to E. So that is 3 grams or 10 years. Sorry, 3 generations or 10 years. Right? Significance 3 generations or 10 years, whichever is longer over a max, where the maximum of 100 years. That means in 100 years, we will be calculating this 3 generations or 10 years over the species. So that is MI. MI is significant in matured individuals. That means matured individuals are capable of producing the offsprings. Hence, it is being mentioned. It is calculated either the 3 generations or 10 years. That means over the period of 100 years, if 3 generations of animals or the mainly it is concerned with the animals here, so not the plants. So plants can be the matured plants means up to their productive rate, productive age. That could be when they start producing the seeds and flowers. So from that time we can consider it under this matured individuals. The point A is see, we have to see from point A to point E, any one of the following, if it is there, then we have to consider it as critically endangered. A is as above, but less than 10 kilometers per square, 10 kilometers square. That is used to show different levels of severity. That means if the plant or the animal is very less in this 10 kilometers of area, it should be considered under A. So numbers less than 50 matured individuals. So in that area, if 10 square kilometer, if matured area, matured plants or the animals are less than 50 in number, then they have to be considered. Then at least 50% chances of going extinct in the wild over 3 generations or 10 years. Means so if there are any 100 plant species are there by over the period of 100 years, if they are going to be extinct by 50%, if their population is being reduced by 50%, then they should sit under critically endangered. So D is occurring over less than 100 kilometers per square and two of following means that is 3 points are there in this, any two are meeting, then it has to be considered under D or D in the critically endangered. species. That is severe habitat fragmentation or existing existing at just one location, means the plants are found only in one area or one habitat of the region. Then second is declining in extent of occurrence, area of occupancy, that is area, extent, quality of habitat, number of number of locations, subpopulations, or amount of matured individuals. So if gradual decline is observed, then also it should be considered. Third point, so extreme fluctuation in extent of occurrence, rare of occupancy, number of location, subpopulation, or amount of MI, that is matured individuals. It also be considered under point D of endangered species. So declining point E, declining population less than 250 matured individuals, either a decline of 25% over 3 generations or 10 years for the period, or second point, extreme fluctuation over 90% of matured individuals in a single subpopulation, or no more than 50 matured individuals in any one of subpopulation. Means it's group of population of plants found in a specific area. If more than 90% of matured plants are being extinct or being destroyed or being vanished from the population, it should also be considered. So this is the example of mulberry lily. So it's musli variety. It can be called as Safed musli also. So it is becoming critically endangered now. So endangered is mentioned by EN. That is high risk of extinction in the wild. Means they are going to the extent. We have to look after them. That is Bistrate grisoni. The herb specially grows among rocks, on cliffs edges, and on sheep's sandy banks, and these habitats are being by trampling and digging by collectors, searching of ophocytic species, a fungus species that is widely used in traditional Chinese and Tibetan medicine. So endemic to Bhutan and known only from two records that dating from 1949 and 1993 from high altitude sites. Means this plant usually lives in the edges of the mountains. So where these climbers used to for procuring the fungus species, they have destroyed. So this is one example. That is kakoli. In this, Ashtavarga plants can be considered in this. That is kakoli, Kshira kakoli, Meda, Mahameda, Riddhi. So this is one example. Then vulnerable species that are high risk of endangered in the wild, likely to become endangered unless the circumstances that are threatening its survival and reproduction improve. There are currently 5,196 animals and 6,789 plants classified as vulnerable. Compared with 1998 levels of 2,815 and 3,222 respectively. That means animals, 2,815 animals and 3,222 plants are assessed, or survey is being done in 1998 and number is being procured. Then practices such as cryoconservation of animals genetic resources have been enforced in efforts to conserve vulnerable breeds of livestock specifically specifically livestock. See here, cryoconservation means though any important part of the plant or the animal is being collected and it is being frozen, deep frozen, so that its cell development or cell progress is being hampered by this freezing technique. It is being done to preserve the plant which is going to be vulnerable species. So there are many criteria here. So here once again A to E criteria are being given. So criteria A is population reduction in the form of 1 and 2 means point 1 and 2. So the point 1 is an observed or estimated, inferred or suspected population size reduction of less more than or equal to 50% over the last 10 years or 3 generations. Once again, it is more than 50% destruction in the population should be considered, which is the longer, provided the causes of the reduction are rarely reversible, understood and ceased. Means once we come to know that this population is being destroyed rapidly. So if we come to know that, and if we check this, it's a reduction in population, and if we could able to reproduce or increase the population, then it can be maintained. This measurement is based on two direct observation or an index abundance appropriate for an taxon. Means here, so continuous monitoring of the species will be done mainly in the forest area. Usually, as per my knowledge, interaction with the forest people. So usually in the over a time period of 5 to 10 years, though they will go for a survey of the plants and the animals. So mainly they will be concentrating on the animals rather than the plants. So but nowadays, so this observation is being done for plants and animals both. So on this continuous observation, so this criteria can be maintained or observed. A decline in area of occupancy, extent of occurrence, or quality of habitat, actual or potential levels of exploitation, the effects of introduced texta, hybridization, pathogens, pollutants, so competitions or parasites. So if we take care of these aspects or causes of by which the extent variety can be conserved. Second point, the reduction of at least 20% projected or suspected to be met within the next 10 years or 3 generations, which is the law based on specifying any of 2, 3, 4, or 5 of the above. See the points which we done in point number 1. So then the point B is extent of occurrence estimated to be less than 20,000 kilometer per square area. See there, if we able to remember, here the area was just 100 kilometers, 100 kilometer per square. So now it has come to 10,000 kilometers, right? Sorry, 20,000 kilometers it has come. Or the area of occupancy estimated to be less than 2,000 kilometers of area. Then the estimates indicating any two of the following. Say if the population observed in only 2,000 kilometers of area or up to 20,000 kilometers of area, the criteria should be the extreme fluctuation in any of the following. Extreme fluctuation in area of occupancy, extent of occurrence means the availability of the plants. So number of locations or subpopulations, number of matured individuals. So they will be calculated and they will be assigned. Severely fragmented are known to extend at on more than 10 locations. Say this 200 kilometers area is being divided into 10. So it will be becoming 20,000 kilometer area. So in that each individual subpopulation, the calculation will be done, right? So that counts the 10 locations. Continuing decline inferred, observed, or projected in any of the following. That is extent of occurrence, area of occupancy, area of extent, area or extent or quality of habitat, number of locations or subpopulation, number of matured individuals. See, if any one is being observed, means a decrease is being observed, then it has to be counted. See, is population is to number fewer than 10,000 matured individuals, and either means it should be calculated 10,000 matured individuals, right? So along with that, an estimated continuing decline of at least 10% within 10 years, means 10,000 population. If it is reducing by 10%, 10% means they are 10,000 in this year, over the period of next to 10 years. That means now it is 23. In 43, if the population is becoming 1,000 matured individuals, then it should be considered as vulnerable. Which is longer? Which one is the longer that can be counted? Are they either the 3 generation or over the period of 10% decline over the period of 10 years? Anything can be considered. In continuous declining observed, projected or inferred in number of matured individuals and population, structured in the form either severely fragmented. That means the population is estimated to contain more than 1,000 matured individuals. See, 10,000 matured individuals are being fragmented. That means they are scattered. All matured individuals are in a single subpopulations, or all individuals means all 1,000 matured individuals are staying in only one place. Right, so that could be considered. So quantitative analysis showing the probability of extinction in the wild is at least 10% within 100 years. See, so that once again, it also indicates the same as 10,000 per E population very small or uh, restricted in the form of either the following, that is population estimated to number less than 1,000 matured individuals. Population is characterized by an acute restrictions in its area of occupancy, that is 20 kilometers square area, in the number of locations, that is typically less than 5, right? In 20 kilometer area. So if less than 5 plants or 5 animals are being observed, such a taxon should be thus be prone to afference human activity, means that area. So human activity is becoming more. So we have to restrict this area. The example for vulnerable animal species are, the plant is bitter milkweed. So it is it was found and it is still found in Gujarat place only. So near threatened species is mentioned as NT, likely to become endangered in the near future. Species may be considered threatened with extinction in the near future, although it does not currently qualify for the threatened status. Means, so it is less chances of going to be threatened. Take care, so it can be palatable. It can be controlled. Before 2001, department species were given separate category as conservation department. Say in 2001, so government, the near threatened species means likely to become endangered in near future. Hence, in few days or few years, it may become endangered. Those species may be considered threatened with extinction in the near future, although it does not currently qualifies for the threatened status. Means, so in those 3 categories which I said, so it is not coming into it, but still we have to take care of this. So for this, the government has taken one very good initiative in 2001. So it has established a separate department, that is conservation department, in which this threatened or near threatened or this totally threatened endangered plant species or the total animals are being conserved or protected, and even they take steps to overcome or remove them from the endangered list by producing their numbers or increasing their numbers more. Least concern means low risk, does not qualify for more at risk category means. So there is no need to worry about this. But one example, by quoting one example, I want to share this. See this red rice. So red rice is very well known for its values. So the species has on the number of occasions been genetic donor to cultivated rice. So where its genes have been incorporated to confer resistance to abiotic stress, disease, and to boost productivity and fertility. So for this, this red rice is being used. Means red rice, by using the red rice, many this rice, say, rice used to get many diseases frequently. Hence, it is being infested with or sprinkled with many of the pesticides. So to overcome this, so to make the rice variety strong, so this genes have been being transferred to the cultivated rice. So this is the picture of the red rice. Then it. So no need to think much about this. Say means it doesn't mean that we don't have any data, but collected data is not sufficient, or survey is being done in an incomplete manner. That can be considered as data deficit. So not evaluated means has not been evaluated against the criteria, means according to the criteria they have not done it. Generally they have done it. So it's not have been studied by the IUCN, right? Example is so they are more in numbers and no need to evaluate, or evaluation is very difficult. So that is, for example, by example you may understand this. So house flies, there are many house flies, so it is very difficult to count. So that is not evaluated, means they are in abundant quantity, and it is very difficult to uh, count. So in this plant, if we come to know this very well known plant, that is Parthenium plants, right? Parthenium, are in common languages we can call it as Congress plant. So it means like Congress, it is spreading everywhere. So that much famous it is, right? Then conservation dependent species. So conservation dependent, it is mentioned by LR bar CD, right? Conservation dependent, as dependent on the conservation efforts to say here. What we need to do is endangered species which are has to be conserved. That means in 2001 this department which has come, so conservation department, so it is taking care of that particular plant or the animal. So there's there they are being mentioned as LR bar CD, means the efforts are being carried out to overcome them from red listed plant, right? So that is conservation dependent species. So as per December 2015, 15, there remains 209 plants and 29 animal species are being protected. So example of conservation dependent species includes black camina, and even the Safed Musli is also being considered here. It is not mentioned here. Mainly many animals are being. So some plants are being listed. So some images are also being given. Just go through it. Time is very short. So how we need to conserve them? So the goal is to provide a framework for conservation and sustainable plants in medicine. So care for earth. So we have to conserve them. So by developing strategy. So that means a single person can't do it, right? A private or public, any one cannot do it. So we have to collectively work for conservation of this plants, medicinal plants. Right, strategical action framework can be considered like this. So what we have to done, what has to be done. So first we have to think on this. Then we have to categorize or divide the work into different categories. That means we have to give specific targets to specified organizations or institutions for particular work, and then we have to analyze it, what we have to do, what how they are doing, and all. So monitoring has to be done, and over a period of time, specific time, we have to reach to a conclusion that how far it is being done and how it has to be uh, increased. See, for this, experts needed for conservation of medicinal plants, there are many taxonomists, agronomists, conservation, ecologist, ethnobotanist, horticulturist, pharmacologist. So many people need to be mentioned here. So resource economist, seed biologist, legal experts. See, so mainly I can give a brief. We can categorize or minimize our focus on some departments, that could be the forest department for in situ conservation, agriculture department by for increasing the number of plant species by giving supporting the plants for cultivation, horticulture departments to increase the plants quantity by propagation techniques like the stem cuttings and air layerings and all. So by that also the number of plant species can be increased. So the bodies like CCRAS, so Central Council for Research in Ayurveda System, so National Medicinal Plant Board and Ayush Ministry, Indian Ecological Society, Indian Council for Forest Research and Education, National Biodiversity Authority, and Botanical Survey of India, and many NGOs are taking part, and they are doing their best to overcome or to protect this endangered medicinal plants. So I have specified some NGOs which are very much active and very much well known in India. That is Green Yatra. It is organization is very active in Maharashtra. So they go with the tagline that "Go Green Kids." Means they are giving free samplings of plants to the kids, and they are promoting them to encouraging the students of the schools and colleges to take care of the plants and to propagate them. Then project Green Hands, it is very active in Tamil Nadu. So here also their green school movement. That means they are planting the plants. Plantation is being done in and around the schools mainly, and they are also giving plants, free plants samplings to the public. Then say trees in Karnataka, they do Bangalore area. So they are very active. They are using some technique, that is Miyake techniques. So by this, the plants are being grown very fast. See, that is the new technique they are adopting. Then Sankalpataru, that is clean green school programs. So they are what they are doing is they are collecting student groups. Student unions are being created in different parts of the state, and they are connected, and their motto or their what their thoughts are being expressed in different parts of the country by with the group chain system they are doing it. Then conservation campaigners should be there to prepare awareness, to give awareness to the public. Then politicians to take appropriate measures, and religious leaders if they are speaking, then definitely the impact will be done. For example, if I say this Sadhguru going for conservation of river, right? So that he did and recently. Then plant breeders means medicinal plants. Many individuals or the communities are willingly knowing this value of this medicinal plants. They voluntarily taking initiatives for cultivation of medicinal plants. That park managers and park planners in the designing of the park, so where the people can know or understand or to see the endangered medicinal plants, and traditional health practitioners. So they will be very much knowing the medicinal plants and their values. If they are being educated and they are being informed about this endangered the level of the particular plant, then that will be very useful. Then farmers for the cultivation in the large extent. So basic studies to study traditional knowledge on the use of plant in healthcare. So in healthcare, how these medicinal plants are being used, so that we have to educate every individual or the practitioners. Then to identify the medicinal plants and outline for their distribution and assess their abundance. See where, how much, how many plants are available. If we are giving, then it will be very useful for the procurement and distribution of the plant. So plant identification is a very important role where this botanists are playing very much big role in this. So here one format is being given, where by which we can assess in which place, yeah, in which place or which in which demographic area how many plants are there. For that criteria as being what and all to be mentioned. So how it is to be mentioned, so the list is here. So for the name, common name which is there, geographical distribution, where it is being distributed, where it is available, what is its habitat, and description about the plant, means how its leaf, flower. It is once again it is very easy for the identification of the plant. It is used in medicine, how traditionally it is being used, how it will be useful, that and all can also be mentioned. How it can be cultivated in ex situ germ plants. So ethnobotanical survey checklist means collection over specimens of the plants used as medicinals and get qualified taxonomist. So that and all, once again the same main, once the identification is being done, and if this just checklist is being produced, and if it is made available in the website, could be the medicinal plant board or the conservation board which is being done. So it will be very helpful. Then utilization, how it has to be utilized on the basis of this threatened level. So we have to use the medicinal plants. See, in Ayurveda also they have given the substitutions. All right, medicinal plants, if they are going to be extinct, what we have to do, it is being already mentioned in Ayurveda, that is Ashtavarga are being replaced with the four important drugs. So that in place of getting, it is to protect the endangered species from becoming extinct. So steps in bringing species into cultivation, that which is the good area, habitat, plant breed, that and all has to be considered, and under supervision and control we have to produce or reproduce the plants in the form of cultivation. Then practical consideration of harvesting means, say many a times harvesting procedures are being specified nowadays. SOPs are being prepared. So good agricultural techniques, good harvest techniques, so good preservation techniques. So for everything, so ex situ, in situ conservation is also being done. So if some special species is available, so stem cell study can also be done over it, and the plant can be grown in the laboratories, then it can be subjected to the ex situ conservation. Then communication and cooperation is very much needed between the producers and the consumers. Some effective approaches, so public awareness by social and public media. So we have to give awareness to the public by social media and public media, say newspapers, TV, everything. And medicinal plants, gardens, we have to do it. So where these plants can be labeled and mentioned. See, nowadays in the garden it is being mentioned, the plant name and uses, everything will be written, but its threatened or endangered level is not being mentioned. So if we can do it, it will be very helpful. So then lecturers and formal courses can be done on this, separate courses can be done to educate the people. So an educational campaigning by including curricula, means in the curriculum we can add this endangered species in the higher category, and if we do it, it will be very useful. Then protected areas can be done. So some areas, some plants will or animals will be growing or surviving in only specific areas. So it has to be a protected area. Now gear area is there where the tigers are being like this for plants also. Some organizations who are working, once again, you may all be knowing this: WHO, IUCN, and WWF. That is World Wild Foundation of Nature. So in USA, wildlife fauna found in Canada and USA, right? So declaration, say many of the informations are being collected or gathered from the internet. Thank you.
Thank you, Patil sir, for such an interesting topic, exhaustive topic, and a new topic for most of us regarding the endangered plants and the methods of and how, especially these plants are endangered. We are losing a lot of things, like a lot of plants, a lot of animals in the nature. Only pictures will remain for the future generation. So some pictures have remained now for the current generation as well. So because because in our times we used to have zoos where we used to visit the zoo and have live animals there. So we knew how a tiger looked, how a panther looked, what's the difference between a panther, cheetah, tiger, lion, all those things. Nowadays, the kids need to search through the Google, and also, of course, we have some places where we can visit and see the animals, but some animals are extinct. And when we speak about the plants in this particular stage, definitely some plants we haven't seen. We have seen only in the photographs. Why, what, where, how these reasons should be reasoned out in a proper way. That particular aspect you have really covered exhaustively in this particular presentation, sir. The causes why they are going either being endangered or extinct, and what are the different causes for so many plants for not being available. So, for example, we can see so many plants being described in our Samhitas also, which we read through in the formulations. And there are also Pratinidhi Dravya. You are expert of this particular field. And we also have Baishya Kalpana experts like Karim sir right now in the group, right now in the discussion. So you can comment on this, how good it is to like use a representative drugs or the herbs. Like X is not available in the preparation. Like one day in preparation of Chawanprash, we may not get a proper amalaki itself, which is the main ingredient. As you said already, you have mentioned Ashtavarga in the discussion, the Dashamula. So when one X is not available, I'll use Y. When A is not available, we will use B. We have come to that particular format. What will happen another 2 decades ahead, or 3, 5 decades ahead? Many plants still can go into extinction. One point you made a right point at the end, that in the botanical gardens or the herbal gardens, what we have, even in the Ayurvedic colleges, if the plant name is there, so whether it is endangered or extinct species, what it is, in which category it comes, if it is there, and if this particular knowledge is taken to the Ayurvedic classes, like I think Dravagana teachers are doing this like you. So when a plant is explained in the classroom, whether it is endangered, whether it is extinct, whether it is available or not, what is used instead of this, all things are available. My question is, what about in near future? Though you mentioned the game changers at the last, who can change the game, who can get involved, how these things can be dealt, but dealt to a proportion, not to the majority. Like we can deal certain things, and certain things are not in our hands to protect these species from going extinct. So, yes. So as Ayurveda doctors, teachers, and students, as flag bearers, what is our responsibility towards these endangered plants, number one, and how we should carry it ahead, and where do you as a Dravaguna teacher see this scenario maybe 50 years ahead?
Yes, sir, definitely it was very nice question. So probably many of us in this group might be having the same. Sir, definitely. So if the Pratinidhi Dravyas can also are also going to be extinct nowadays. So for that, one more thing you mentioned is the Dashamula, sir. So where we have to collect the roots. So some techniques are being used where the plants are being cultivated in the same 1 to 4 inch wide in a pipe, PVC pipe. They are being grown so that uprooting will be very easy. So one thing, and if it is a huge tree, so yearly if we are going to collect it, so we have to divide the area into 4 parts. So just I am giving an example. So northeast, southwest, it is very easy. So if, let us consider the north area is being excavated this year. So next year we should not excavate in the north. We have to go for south or east or west. So that sequentially one after the other, if we are uprooting, so the plant will be available. Even we'll be procuring the medicine also. That can also be done. In the same way, even the for the stem bark or root bark, if we talk about the stem bark, so we have to leave the main stem. So we have to collect the bark of the branches. This will protect the plant. So this is how we have to procure the medicine by protecting the plant. This can be very much done, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And being an Ayurvedic physician and also a teacher yourself, taking this message into the classroom, what impact can teachers make on the students about these plants? And do you personally introduce these plants to your students and classify them as endangered? So what is our role in protection and all those things? These things should be passed on to the next generation. Otherwise, even students will not be knowing today's student is tomorrow's teacher. So they need to, by the time they become teacher and their students become teacher, even some other plants also will be endangered. So do you do it, and what is the response of the students knowing about this extinct and endangered species?
Sir, definitely I am looking onto it. So in my previous tenure also, I had my own greenhouse where I had not less than 72 species, but 72 plants in general. So that are being collected from different parts of India, wherever I used to go, mainly in Karnataka. So I used to collect them and I used to protect them and preserve them. So I tried many times to propagate them, but unfortunately the condition I could not give them for the propagation. In propagation aspect, definitely I was not completely successful. But rightly speaking, students are very much interested. So in the mainstream, this time we have applied for Spark program, sir. You might be knowing this. So the same point we are taking, we have to. So this 15th is the submission last day. So we are doing on the same, sir, plant conservation technique. That too, in that plant propagation by stem cutting, this time I am taking, sir, for this endangered plant only.
Nice, sir. Nice. And there is a question in the question box. Is there information on the extinct and improper utilization of Ayurvedic herbal plants? E. Ramadaniji asks this question. Is there information on the extinct and improper utilization of Ayurvedic herbal plants, like an information book or booklet or something published?
Sir, right now I don't find any books are being published. So in coming days we can work on it. So definitely in coming years, definitely we can come out with a book.
Definitely, sir. Teachers like you working in the Madhavbaug department mainly can be the flag bearers and game changers if we can do this. I also would recommend you one more thing so that you can note it in your notepad. Like if the
Yes.
syllabus at the higher level like NCASM is
Yes.
formed in such a way, like syllabus classification itself is done like depending on the endangered plants.
Yes, sir.
Okay, which is extinct, which is about to go extinct, and all those things. In that way, if it is classified and if it is given to the students in the form of knowledge, I think it is very high time to discuss these things in the classrooms. Apart from giving, at least at the post graduation and PhD levels, I think these should be the areas where people should be working. Dravaguna department, I think, can be the game changer, and also Rashastra Vaishya Kalpana. It's responsibility of all of us, Ayurveda fraternity, but I think that these departments can definitely take the initiative. So having said that, so this was a small suggestion from my end. If you can take it to the higher tiers.
Sir, definitely I will do it, sir. Even this NCSM has not been framed this PG syllabus. In that, definitely we will try to incorporate this endangered medicinal plants.
Absolutely, sir. That should, at least if it starts like an initiative, somebody will be, some people at least will be interested to take these studies ahead.
Yes.
Okay, with that note, Vasanta Reddy, madam, please go ahead and you can interact with Patil, sir.
So the question I have is, maybe I missed the point. The Ayurvedic drugs that are prepared from these plants, aren't they cultivated, or are they, or do you always need to go into the wild? Because if you're talking about endangered species, etc. My understanding or limited understanding is that these are all cultivated in a place, and then you make medications from that.
Yes, madam. In many times, your words are correct. So many of the drugs are being procured from the agriculture source only. But in many places, the procurement of the raw drugs is from the wild is also going on, madam. So wherever it is not being controlled, or in some controlled manner where this forest department is giving marketing the wild source. If I go for an example, that wild honey is being marketed by the forest department itself. By making this forest and the local, in between forest and local, they are preparing one group is being made, madam. So I could not collect it. So from that we can procure the raw drugs which are available from the forest, madam. So it is legally it is available. So that can also be done. So, but what we can do is the plant which is collected from the agriculture source definitely have less value or less potency than the drug which is being procured from the forest. So one suggestion with my interaction with the forest department officer, I said, so the Vichendalar plants are being endangered. So if we could able to plant them in the forest, in their own place, so definitely we can maintain the quality of the drug. That can be done, madam. In coming days we may go ahead to see it.
Yes, and hence it's important to know what is endangered and what is not, so that you can advise the forest department. This is great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. And I think catching up the soul of Vasanta Reddy madam's question, Patil sir, is I think this will be an extended part of her question as well. The medicine, the herbs which we use in preparation of the medicines, I think that was also included in the questions. Whether we procure those herbs from the herbal gardens we have in the colleges or in and around the manufacturing industry, number one, or should we go to the forest zone itself to procure most of the medicines, most of the herbs to prepare the medicines, or cultivation is also a possibility. One, the herb gardens; another, the cultivation; another, directly entering into the forest zone, collecting the herbs and come and prepare the medicines. From which area or from which territory we are procuring maximum herbs to prepare the medicines? I think that was also the base of the question.
Sir, most of the times we go for the preparation for the medicine where it is easily available. If it is there in our garden, definitely we as a pharmacy unit of the college, so we will be procuring the medicine easily from the our garden, and we will produce it. So, and second one is rightly said, the two parts, the industries which are manufacturing industries are having their own agricultural land in which they will be cultivating the plants and they will be procuring for their medicines. And one more thing, what good thing what they are doing is they are making agreements with the farmers by buyback policy. They'll be giving the plants or the samplings and to the agriculture farmers, and after they grow they will collect from the farmers. That's also they are doing. And the last point which you mentioned, directly procuring from the forest. So legally it is not correct, sir. So it is being banned or it is objectionable. So we should not go for it. So one thing, one good thing, even the forest people are also doing what I said. They are making an outlet of the forest outlet they are making. So exactly I don't remember the name of it. So in this, the village participants, two village participants, and one forest officer, and one public representative, and community like this. Total 5 members will be there in that specific group, and from there the whichever the products available in the forest, they are being sold there for the public. So that will be a good place where we can procure the raw materials instead of going randomly and collecting them.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful clarifications there. And to our participants also, another thing is in preparation of some formulations and medicines in the pharmacies, we use, most times we use the dry herbs, and there are also vendors who supply the dry herbs. So those who have been classified and also who are authenticated to sell those herbs, we can procure those dry herbs from those people, and the medicines can be prepared. Every college pharmacy will have a store of the dry herbs as well, and every college, Ayurvedic college, will have a herb garden. So these are also mandatory, where certain plants permitting to be grown or which can be grown in that particular geographical area will definitely be grown. And whenever the wet sources are required, so we can tap it from those particular gardens. So this, with this, we will come to the conclusion of this session. So on behalf of all our participants and Easy Ayurveda family, I extend a cordial thanks to Dr. Channabaswana Patil sir for making it to our session, for presenting such an exhaustive, very interesting and a very rare and important topic, and enlightening us with his wisdom. Thank you, sir, on behalf of all of us for being here and for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Namaste. Loads of love from Easy Ayurveda. Namaste.